Good morning, class. It's Thursday, April 16th, and today for math, we're going to be looking at whether or not equations are true or false. It's important that we can solve an equation where we don't have an answer, or we can figure out what's missing from an equation if an addend or a number in our subtraction question is missing. But it's also important that we can look at a question and tell whether or not our answer is right. It's really important when we're solving problems that we can look at it and know it's right, or prove that it's right. So today we're going to be looking at these four equations and we're going to do some proving to decide whether they're right or wrong. You might know in your head that it's right or wrong, and then you could explain it to prove it. One explanation I could give for 5 plus 2 equals 6 is that I know 6 is 1 more than 5, so the true question would have to be 5 plus 1 equals 6, in which case this question is false. I can also prove it with a picture. So if I drew 5 and I drew 2 more, it looks like a number 8. I'm just going to switch it so it looks like 2 dots for you guys. Maybe all wondering, where did that 8 come from? And that answer is not 6. The answer is actually 5, 6, 7. So I can try solve the equation as if I didn't have the answer. I can figure it out from something I know about the question, like if it was a double question or it's a +1 question, to help me do the answer. So we know that one is false. I'm using an F for false, and I'll use a T for true. Let's take a look at our second addition question. It says 4 plus 3 equals 7. I could explain it to tell you whether or not I thought it was true or false. I could tell you that 4 plus 4 equals 8, and that's an almost double. I could tell you that I could count on after 4, 5, 6, 7, and I show that I get to the answer 7, or I could draw a picture to show that I know this answer is true. All of those would prove it. I'm going to quickly draw my picture to show that this answer is true. 1, 2, 3, 4, or I can count on after 4, 5, 6, 7. My picture shows it's 7, and since the answer shows it's 7, I know that question is true. Let's look at 2 in the subtractions. 6 minus 3 equals 7. There's a couple of ways I could decide if this question is true or false, and the first one I'm going to think about is if my biggest number in the equation is 6, and I take something away from it, then my answer cannot be bigger than my big number. When I take something away, my answer is always going to be smaller. So I can tell you that this question has to be false because the answer is bigger than the question. When I start with 6, I can't have more if I take things away. I can only have more if I add things together. I can prove it with something I know about doubles. I know that 6 is the answer to a double question, which is 3 plus 3, which means that 6 minus 3 would have to equal 3. I can use my doubles theory to do that as well. Or I could show you in a picture. If I draw my 6 circles and I grab another color to cross out the 3 that I'm taking away, I could even put arrows like those ones are gone. How many are left? Then the answer would be 3. Since the answer is 7, I know this question is false. My next example for a subtraction question is 10 minus 2 equals 4. I know that I can skip back counting by 2's. If I count forward by 2's, I can count backwards by 2's. So to take away 2, I just need to count backwards. I can say 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0. My number line would help me show that as well if I needed to just skip back to 1, 2. I can easily show that the answer should be 8, not 4. So I know that my answer is false, but I can prove it with a picture. Again, I would do my takeaway picture. I'm going to draw 10 using my dice of 10. And I'm going to use another color to cross off 2 of them. And I can easily tell that I have 5 and 3 more. So my answer would be 6, 7, 8. My answer should be 8. So my friends, I've posted online for you under today's math lesson a bunch of pages that have questions that include the question, whether it's addition or subtraction, and an answer. And your job is to prove if it's true or false. If you prove it with words like I did when I said, I know that 5 plus 1 is 6, so 5 plus 2 can't be 6, then you want to video yourself telling me those answers. Or you can prove it with pictures, or you can write things like, I know 3 plus 3 equals 6, it's a double, so 6 minus 3 can't equal 7, and that's a good proof. You don't have to print the pages off, but you can if you want to. And one of the pages does actually have a cut and paste portion where you can cut out the equations and list them under a chart that shows true on one side and false on the other. Have fun doing some true and false math and prove whether the equation is correct, true, or incorrect, false. Have a wonderful day.